The second table, we're going to switch to Microsoft Word, and we're just going to be creating our own nice copy of our class schedule. So we can go ahead into the Unit 7 and see the step-by-step instructions for that. One of the keys is getting the right menus for tables, because Microsoft Word, a lot of the important details come up right away when you set it up. So there's lots of options as you scroll through this to merge it and get it all aligned correctly. So we need to go ahead and go to a blank Word document. And I'm going to actually have all my titles and everything built into the table. So as I look at this, I'm going to need 5 columns and 7 rows due to our schedule and all the titles. So when I go to Insert, I'm going to select Table, and if their dimensions aren't here, we go to Insert Table so we get these options. So I want, let's see, 7 rows, 5 columns. And we're going to leave it with fixed, which means it automatically sets up all the columns and fits it on our page to start with. We can always customize that later. Now it doesn't look like there's a lot of room, but the table will auto correct as we fill it out. And you can see at the top, now that I have a table, I have a special toolbar. And that's one of the keys in Microsoft Word, is anytime we enter anything new, we're going to have its own special table. So we can see all kinds of things to do to the table here. I'm a right clicker, so I also do a lot of these options right here on the right click and here in this menu. Essentially, they all do the same thing. You just have to find where the feature you're looking for in any particular spot. So I'm going to start with completing a merge. And again, we have all kinds of options up here, so I could just merge cells here, and merge means make into one. Let's take a look there and see what font we should be going with up here. It says font size 24. All right. So switch back to home, size 24, and centered. Then in each of these columns we see in rows block names here, so we can go actually go down a line here, because this is going to be block 1, block 2, and across the top here are quarters. Alright, everything we're going to have in this section, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, a little better for the recording. These are all going to be centered, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight these cells, and anything I select, it applies to those specific cells, and it looks like I have centering set also on these. Alright, I'm just going to go by the sample schedule. So also up here, looks like we're bold with these titles, so I'm going to make sure those are bold, and it looks like we have English all semester, so I'm going to right click and merge cells. Instead of using it here in layout, this time I'm just doing right click. Now the thing is, when I'm working in tables, it can get a little tricky doing the inserting clip arts and pictures. If I'm insert while I'm in the table, it locks it in. So since I'm centered, if I hit enter and now I insert my object, it's going to be directly centered, which for this assignment is what we want, rather than clicking and dragging it all around to try to line everything up. So here I can go and insert, and we'll just do online pictures. Hope it loads today. And I'm just going to hit a clip art of books. And again, as always, your pictures don't necessarily have to match the ones I get. I just put what I find. I'm going to hold down Shift so it doesn't distort, remember, and we're going with about roughly a 1/4 inch, maybe just about the same size as the word. I'm going to enter once after so we have good spacing before I enter block 2. Now we're going to do the same things here for my sample. If you have, excuse me, if you have a class for a semester, you'll merge the quarters. If they're all 1/4, then you won't merge them. So at this point, you can take some time and enter in your courses and the corresponding pictures. So I've went ahead and entered everything in. Again, I merged those cells, and that's a right click or using the table properties. And make sure your footer's on that and export as PDF. And that's all there is to table number 2, your class schedule.